Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Chaitanyam Sarvagam Sarvam Sarvabhuta Guhashayam Yat Sarva Vishayatitam Tasmai Sarvatmane Tasmai Sarvavide Namaha. Sadbrahmaham karomiti Pratyavatma sakshikau Tayorajnana jasyaiva Tyago yuktataro mataha Sadasmiti pramanotha Dhiranya tannibhodbhava Pratyakshadinibhavapi Padhyate digbhamadivate. Sadbrahmaham, Sadbrahma I am Iti and Karomi. So we are essentially born with this notion about ourselves, Karomi, I am doing this, I am Karta, I am the agent of various actions. So that is the conclusion or opinion or understanding I have about myself. Then when I expose myself to the teaching, Sadasmiti, Sadbrahmaham, then by the Vakya, Mahavakya, Upadesha of the Mahavakya, from the teacher, he makes me see this fact about myself. I have been seeing a given fact about myself by virtue of my nature, but now the teacher makes me see that you cannot be Karta, Bhokta, because that is not the abiding aspect about yourself. If Kartritvam, doership is your nature, then it should persist nature, so never changes. Never, it's not that it's now here and something else later. Must be consistent. So, Kartaham, even though this is what you think yourself to be, that cannot be true. What is true? Aham asmi. So, what is the abiding aspect of yourself which never leaves you? It's always there, self-shining, self-revealing, self-existing, independent. So, Swarupa is always independent. Heat or light is the Swarupa of fire, And no reason why fire is hot, no reason why fire is bright, because that is how it is. No reason why I am, because to be is my nature. So this is how the teacher makes me see my true nature. The other aspect that I am doing, etc., are all coming and going, they are incidental. They are not essential nature of yours. Incidental because they exist someplace in upadhi. And it has become your habit to identify with upadhi. Therefore you conclude this about yourself. So then the teacher makes me understand why do I think the way I think. Let's just say that what you think is wrong. What is the reason why such a pattern of thinking has arisen in you? There is a reason. And so that's called adhyaropa. That is what the teacher makes me see. So that's the pratyaya or cognition or the knowledge that results from the teaching of the Mahavakya. Atma Sakshigau, both of them have similar status. In terms of both of them are illumined by Atma or consciousness. Meaning that Sadasmi is not a vritti as such, but still it is nothing but consciousness revealing itself. So you can say that it is also revealed by consciousness. And that I am karta, of course, a vritti revealed by consciousness. So, from the standpoint of both these vrittis being revealed by consciousness, both of them enjoy the same status. What status? Atma Sakshika. For both of them, Atma is a Sakshi or illuminator. So then, in one way, both of them enjoy the same status. Then what is right? Tayoho ajnanajasya tyagaha. So vishapoho yatha dhyanad. Vishapoha. So what the Shastra in fact enables me to do is dharmaso papmana hnutihi. The papa, the anartha, the cause of suffering is something that is negated. So what is the cause of suffering? Sadasmi iti, is it the cause of suffering? Or karomi iti? So karomi iti pratyaya is the cause of suffering. So that is the papam. And therefore, tasya tyaga yuktataraha. So if of the two, what is to be rejected or negated? From one standpoint, both of them enjoy a similar status, that both of them are illumined by consciousness. But then one of them is born of ignorance. Karomi is ignorance because the kartrutva, the doing, belongs to upadhi. And what is done in buddhi or upadhi is thought to be mine, therefore I conclude karomi. So there is no valid reason for me to declare myself as an agent of action other than ignorance, which brings about the adhyaropa. Therefore, tasyeva tyaga yuktataro mataha. Therefore, only tyaga of what is born of ignorance alone is proper in the wake of knowledge. Again, both of these are pratyayas or cognitions arising in me. So why should one cognition negate the other one? Sadasmeti pramanottadi. So what is this ajnanajanya vritti and jnanajanya vritti? Sadasmeti pramanottadi. This cognition about myself, sadasmi, that I am Sat, I am Brahman, is pramanottha. Has arisen as a little pramanam. What's a pramanam? Shastra pramanam. Tattvamasi, that Mahavakya is pramanam in revealing the nature of Tat, and Tvam and Asi. And therefore, that will not be negated, such pramanam. So the knowledge we gain from pramanam cannot be negated by anything else. The perception, the cognition I have from my eyes cannot be negated by the ears and any other means of knowledge. That's called pramanam. Abhaditam, anadhigatam, jnanam. Abhaditam, that which cannot be negated by other pramanam. Anadhigatam, also which cannot be gained by any other pramanam. So, that which you cannot know by any other means of knowledge, nor can you negate by any other means of knowledge. So the knowledge or perception, cognition of color, anadhigatam, cannot be gained by any means other than eyes and cannot be negated by any means other than eyes. You see? So this is the essential nature of pramanam. Anadhigatam, abhaditam. The knowledge which cannot be gained by any other means of knowledge, the knowledge that cannot be falsified or negated by any other means of knowledge. So that is a pramanam. So Tattvamasi is pramanam, or Sadasi is pramanam, you are Sat. Because the knowledge, so when I see the meaning of that Vakya, what is meant by knowledge is that when I see the meaning of the Vakya, Sadasmi, then I realize that I never knew this, there was no other way for me to know this. By perception, inference, no other means of knowledge available to me can I ever come to this knowledge that I am Brahman. So, anadhigatam. But once I know I am Brahman or I am existence, so perception, no other pramanam can dismiss that because everything is based on I am. Any vyavahara can take place provided I am. So I am is the very first vritti that arises or cognition that arises. So perception, inference, everything else arises after that. They require ahamasmi. They cannot negate that. That aham karta can negate aham bhokta and stuff like that. Aham sukhi can be negated aham dukhi. But aham asmi cannot negate by anything else. So this is pramanottadi. This is the non-negatable knowledge born as a result of my seeing the meaning of the statement. All that I am required to do is to see the meaning of the statement. So you are Brahman, I am Brahman. So here pramana, when you say this statement is pramana, that means that when I see it's not that statement just works. When I see the meaning of the statement. So that is why preparation is required. Preparation of mind is required, such that when this sentence is uttered, it reveals the meaning in my mind. Then this karomi, what about that? Then nibhodbhava, karomi is my experience. Experience is not the pramanam here. Because it is not experience, it is interpretation, really speaking. You cannot say that experience that I am a doer. Or I am a jivatma, although it is said pratyaksha, that I experience. You cannot experience what is not. Atma is not karta, how can you experience Atma as karta? But my experience is interpreted by me by aviveka. That aham asmi belongs to Atma and kartrutva belongs to anatma. So not being able to distinguish the difference between the two, the locus between the two. One is the subject, other is the object. I am not able to see that. Therefore, I lump them together and conclude that I don't experience that I am karta. I conclude that I am karta. is my conclusion, my interpretation of what I experience, understand? This I experience samsara, you don't. You don't experience because there is no samsara, no kartrutva. How can you experience it? What I experience is only I am, that's all I experience as subject. Other thing I experience as object. But it is my interpretation of what I am experiencing. Anyway, this karomi is said here to be the result of pratyaksha pramanam. It is my immediate experience. Alright. So tannibodh is not pramanam. That what is called pratyaksha that I am doing is not pramanam. Tannibodhva. Tannibha means it's only an appearance. Pratyaksha is not pramanam for atma. Pratyaksha is pramanam for anatma. And that can't be, therefore, it's not pramanam for atma. Pratyakshadini bhavapi. Just a dig brahma. I see that this is north, etc. I don't see against my conclusion. In case of this dig brahma, or the error that I make with reference to directions, where I take one direction as north, whereas in fact it is, east. Not that I see it. There also I interpret what I see. You don't see east, Anyway, but still it's called pratyaksha. That this is north is pratyaksha. Is really an interpretation. But anyway, so pratyakshadi nibhavapi. So dig brahma. This error that I am not confusion, error that I make with reference to direction, which I think I see that this is north, is also not pramanam, is only an appearance of pramana or pratyaksha. And how that conclusion is negated by this is east. So Gandhara is in this direction, not that direction. Meaning that the knowledge born of Vakya, that Gandharas are in this direction, that Vakya creates in me the knowledge which negates my earlier conclusion that Gandhara was some other direction. In fact, he did not know where it was anyway, but so the Brahma is when wrong direction is taken to the right direction. So that may not be the example of Dig Brahma, ignorance, but then we have that Brahma, we go in the wrong direction. In life, all the people go in wrong direction all the time, thinking that it is the right direction. Anyway, so how, when the right direction is pointed out to me, how that false notion goes away. So when the right nature of mind is revealed to me, then karomi, that goes away. So this question answer is just to explore the nature of ignorance and therefore the nature of knowledge. Continuing with the next verse, Nanu brahmasmiti buddhivat kartrutvad buddheya api. So these are many questions raised on account of the rules that Mimamsakas have arrived at for interpretation of the Vedic statements. Now here was the interpretation of my experience. Now we go to Vedas. And there are Vedic statements also which seem to confirm that I am a karta bhokta. So not only my experience and the contradiction between what Shruti says and my experience, but Shruti herself says, no, Brahmasmiti buddhivat. Just as you are Brahman is what is taught by the Shruti, kartatvadi buddheyapi, even then, so amum bhaja, worship this devata, do this, don't do that. It amounts to saying that you are a doer. When you say do this and don't do this, it amounts to saying that Shruti is accepting that you are a doer, otherwise they would ask you to do something. You don't ask a table to move. It doesn't, because it doesn't have to worship. So fact that the Shruti says Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara, speak truth, follow dharma, righteousness. So this is an instruction given to me, Adesha, of doing something. Speak truth, meaning that become an agent of the act of speaking truth. That's what it amounts to saying. Dharmam Chara, follow righteousness, meaning that become the agent of the act of righteousness. So Shruti is asking me to do something. When would it ask me to do? When the kartrutva or the doership, Shruti accepts that I am a doer and then says this. Sahi karta, a statement of Prabhupada Upanishad that in the dream the Jivatma or Ishvara creates everything, he is a creator. So in that Sahi karta is a statement for a dreamer. But anyway, Sahi karta, so the dreamer also is same as Jivatma is a karta. Bhokte ityahur manishinaha, Kathopanishad says, Bhokta ityahu manishinaha. Atmendriya manoyuktam bhokte ityahur manishinaha. One that is identified with the body, mind, indriyas is called bhokta by the wise. So Atma is called bhokta. Atma is called karta in one place. Atma is called bhokta in another place. Ityadi vachana shastra tattvam tulyam. So Shastra says that you are Brahman, and Shastra also says you are a karta and bhokta. So Shastra siddhatvam. Now you are talking about the Shastra or the Pramanam. This is knowledge born of Pramanam, meaning that the statement of Vedas negates everything else. Look, the Veda says you are a karta, you are a bhokta. It implies Sahi bhokta is also Sahi karta, directly said, or bhokta is called. Meaning that Vedas also either imply or say that you are a karta, you are a bhokta. Same Vedas also, you are Brahman. So both of these are statements of Vedas. So tulyatvam. So just as these two vrittis were tulya or similar or same level because they are illumined by consciousness, so also these two vrittis, aham brahmasmi and karta aham, are also of the same status because both of them are revealed by Vedas. So they have a similar status. It is from the standpoint of being revealed by Vedas. Then katham tasyaha badhyatvam. How can you negate what is statement of Veda? Iti ashankya, the next verse says, karta bhokteti yachhastram loka buddhyanuvaditate sadasmi tishruter jata Bhadyate nita yaivadhihi. Karta bhokta iti jas shastram. Shastra means shastra vakyam. The vakya, the statement of shastra means Veda, which says you are a karta, you are a bhokta. Now, is it pramanam? That's the question. Every shastra vakya does not become pramanam. Swarthe pramanyam. If a vakya has meaning in its own way without depending upon anything else, satyam vada, speak truth, is pramanam. Because it is vidhi. Dharmam chara is a vidhi. But then Sahi karta, bhokta, this is not a vidhi, it is a statement. Does it have the same status as Vidhi? So there are other than Vedi, there are other kinds of statements in the Vedas. Next is Anuvada. Anuvada means restating what is already known from other Pramanam. That's Anuvada. Arthavada is another one which is also meant for supporting Vidhi. You praise something that you want to enjoy and condemn something that you want to prohibit. So Arthavada also does not have Pramanyam in its own meaning. Pramanyam because it is subservient to Vidhi. Anuvada is restating what is known through other means of knowledge. Also doesn't have the same status as Vidhi. It also only helps the Vidhi, subservient to Vidhi. So these are not Vidhi, meaning that these do not have Pramanyam on their own, they are meant for some other purpose. These statements are, so says, Loka Buddhi Anuvaditat Yash Shastram. Shastra means Shastra Vakyam. So this Shastra Vakya, that Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara, where the Kartrutva and Bhoktritva Atma are presupposed. That is not because Veda thinks that you are a Karta Bhokta. But then Veda knows that you think that you are a Karta Bhokta. And right now you are not ready to understand that I am Brahman. Because still the person is immature and not yet ready to understand the meaning of the profound things. So to help him become mature, the Vedas temporarily accept that you are a Karta Bhokta and ask you to conduct yourself in such a manner that in course of time you become free from Kartrutva, Bhoktritva. It is possible to perform action in such. So we normally perform action such that action perpetuates. The Kartrutva sense of doership perpetuates when it is given reality and when it is supported by desires and stuff like that. But Kartrutva also can be attenuated, meaning can be slowly made weaker and weaker. When that Kartrutva is accompanied with Nishkamata or selflessness. So Kartrutva accompanied with selfishness will only perpetuate Kartrutva. Kartrutva accompanied with the selflessness will progressively weaken the Kartrutva. So momentarily Shastra accepts that you are a Karta and asks you to conduct yourself in such a manner that in course of time the hold of Kartrutva on you will become weaker and weaker. Time will come when you will let go of that Kartrutva. So, because when there is fracture in my leg, I need the crutch. Oh, but you yourself said, use the crutch. I said that. Conditionally. As long as you not gain the strength in your legs, all right, so long use crutch. So it is said to a person who needs crutch, not that crutch is what is the nature of the things. So this fellow needs the crutch of Kartrutva, of selfless Kartrutva. So that crutch will help this person to become free from the need of the crutch. So this is the scheme in the Vedas. This is what, so Mimamsakas are educated here so how to understand Vedas. They have interpreted this statement in their own way. I have come to conclusion that Kartrutva, Bhoktritva, nature of Atma. So Mimamsakas say that Atma is Karta Bhokta. So when he performs action here with Kartrutva here, he gains the happiness in heaven as a Bhokta. And the reason why they have concluded this statement, the Vedas themselves. So Vedanta is educating them how to interpret, because we are also now coming from the same background. So we should educate ourselves that it is Loka Buddhi Anuvadi, that Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, which seems to be momentarily accept a Veda, is Anuvada, is reiteration of what he thinks. Loka Buddhi. Sadasmi iti Shruterijata, therefore it is weaker, it is only Anuvada and not, it doesn't have Swarte Pramana, it's not a Pramana Vakya, it is Anuvada. Sadasmi, I am Sat, that is Pramana Vakya, therefore it is stronger than that. Bhadyate Anya Etaya Evadhi. Etaya, by this Shruti Sadasmi, Anya Karta Bhokta the Shruti Bhadyate. So that Dhi. So when they say you are Karta Bhokta, also creates in me a Dhi or cognition. When it says you are a Brahman, that also creates cognition. So both are cognitions created by Shruti. Then why should they don't have the same status? Because you are Karta Bhokta is simply reiterating what I think I am. So momentarily it is accepted by Shruti. Then Shruti says you are Brahman, then there is no Kartrutva Bhoktrutva. So which one will dismiss what? So Sadasmi the Shruti, that will only, so Anya Bhadyate, the other one is negated by that. So says Tika Shastra Anavijnanam Tad Abhijna Sangati Hinanam api. Shastra Anavijnanam, those who have not grasped the true purport of the Shastra. We keep on repeating, Brahma Vidapnodi Param Pradesha Bhyukta Satyam Jnana, it's all this there, but no Abhijna. No understanding of what these statements mean. So they have repeated the statements all right, but do not understand the meaning of the statements. Tad abhijna sangati hinana, or if you associate yourself with those who understand the meaning, then also your understanding will change. Those who did not have the benefit of either understanding what the Shastra says, nor who had the benefit of the company or association of those who understand that. It never been exposed to the idea that I can be anything different from Karta Bhokta. Karta Bhokta Masmiti Dhya Siddhatvad. So these people, and it includes majority of people, so the I am Karta, I am Bhokta is an existing conclusion about themselves. Dhya Siddhatvad. So by default, people take themselves the Karta Bhokta. Unless they have the opportunity to be exposed to the teaching or come in associate with those who learn. No. Other than that, people by default take themselves Karta Bhokta. Kuru Ityadi Shastram Loka Siddha Arthanuvadi. So you do is not a Pramana Vakya, it's Arthavada Vakya. Loka Siddha Artha Anuvadi is called, so Artha, Anuvada it is called. Loka Siddha Artha. The Artha or the knowledge, the meaning that is already existing in everybody's mind. So he is only Anuvada, reiterates what already people think about themselves. But that is what is necessary right now. You don't have a child. Swami, how do I teach Vedanta to my child? Don't teach Vedanta to your child. How can I get Vairagya? Don't create. Madhava Swami have done it, whatever, but you don't do that. When the child is not ready, mature, would not understand what is Vairagya, it will lose interest in both. Therefore, You should impart the understanding in keeping with the maturity of the one to whom you are communicating. Shruti knows this. Therefore, to immature people, which includes everybody essentially, Shruti accepts Bhavishyad Vritya in keeping in mind in future. I'm going to tell him that you are Brahman. Right now, he is only good for this. Therefore, Anuvadi. When Shruti says you are Karta Bhukta, it is not that Shruti means that, but just reiterates what you think you are to help you to slowly grow out of that. Now, Anadhikata Artha Bodhaka. Anadhikata means not known through other means of knowledge. So that is, as I said, eyes are pramanam for color when color is not known by any other means of knowledge. Anadhikatam. So that which cannot be known by other means of knowledge, abadam, that which cannot be negated by other means of knowledge. But that I am Karta Bhokta is already known to you. Through what? Through, because you are carrying that conclusion anyway. So when Shruti is your Karta Bhokta, Shruti doesn't say something new. You already know, it's telling you what you already know from other means of knowledge, so-called experience. So that Vakya is the Anuvada Vakya. Sadasmiti, however, this Vakya, you are Brahman or I am Sat. Ananya Siddharthaya Shrutehe. So this Shruti, you are Brahman is Ananya Siddha. This Shruti, you are Karta is Anya Siddha. That you are Karta is Siddha means already derived from your own experience, and therefore it is not something that new that Shruti is telling you. You are Brahman is something you can never derive from anything. Neither experience, no experience, nothing will ever reveal to you that you are Brahman. Therefore, it is Ananya Siddha, not Anya Siddha. So it is not Arthavada, or it is not Anuvada. Therefore, Sakashat Jata Ityartha. So Sadasmi, I am Sat, is the knowledge or cognition born of the Shruti statement which is independent, not derived from something else. That you are Karta Bhokta is derived from something else. That your Brahman is not derived from something else. Tasmad etaya eva nirvakashaya sadasmiti shruti jnataya jataya dhya eva anya savakas anuvada vakyajanya badhyate. Therefore, etaya, by this sadasmiti is what niravakashaya. It is independent, is not derived from anything else. Shruti does not derive this from anything else, such as your experience or Arthavada. Whereas your Karta Bhokta is derived from something else, therefore this is stronger and that is weaker. So this is how the Mimamsa of the Shruti statements is done. You seem to find contradictory statements in Shruti. Dvasuparna Sayuja Sakhaya, for example. Yatha Sudiptat Pavakat Visfulingaha. So Dvasuparna Sayuja Sakhaya seem that Shruti says that there are two birds, one is Jiva, one is Ishvara. Yatha Sudiptat Pavakat Visfulingaha. For one blazing fire, just as countless sparks emerge, so also from one Ishvara all the Jivas emerge. So there is Sheshe Amsha Bhava. There is Vishishta Dvaita. Tvasuparna Sayuja Saka is Dvaita. So there are statements like this. Whether these statements stand scrutiny or what follows. If you take the statement isolation, then you may interpret the meaning in one way. But a statement is not to be taken in isolation, but to be taken in the whole context. You say, I said it, but then it was, in this context, So Shruti says a given thing in a given context. So it's a contextual statement rather than an independent, or it is a, what shall I say, a statement that is born of any other consideration, any other consideration. We say things considering something else. We say things because that's what it is. And therefore, this statement, sadasmi, or this vritti, has no other reason to be there. Whereas tvam karta bhokta has a reason to be there, and therefore, this vritti will negate the other one. So this is a mimamsa of the statements of Vedas themselves. And we are here the author is analyzing those statements which are relevant to us. Not karmakanda statement, but statement relevant to the nature of the self. In the process of thus appearing to dismiss the karmakanda, or there is also here, in a subtle way, the meaning of the Mahavakya also is being revealed here, or is delineated here. Tadevam Vakyadeva Aparoksha Jnanam Atmisham Utpadyate. In this manner, Vakyadeva, Mahavakyadeva, like Tattvamasi, Aparoksha Jnanam Atmisham Utpadyate. Because that's Asi, or Tvam is Aparoksha, that is why. The knowledge is in keeping with the object of knowledge. If the object is Pratyaksha, knowledge is Pratyaksha, object is Paroksha, knowledge is Paroksha, Paroksha, knowledge also Aparoksha. So Atma falls in the category of Aparoksha. And therefore knowledge also should be Aparoksha. And that is born of the statement wants me to see. The statement meaning that is not just that the Vakya does that. Vakya creates in me, so initial whole process of thinking. When I start thinking and deliberating upon what conclusions I have, scrutinizing the conclusions. The new conclusion is stated, you are Brahman. If I have Shraddha in the statement, then I scrutinize my present conclusions, karta, bhokta. So that is how the paroksha part is given up. And aparoksha jnanam. So, atmisham utpadyate tacha nirapeksha eva anartha nivritti hetuhu. In this knowledge that I am Brahman, anartha nivritti hetuhu, it eliminates all suffering in the life by itself without depending upon anything else. So you don't have to repeat. Now we are coming to another question. Now, this is the opinion of Swayuthya Matam Utthapayati. So far the Mimamsaka's mata was raised here. Now Swayuthya means one of our own. Yutha means our jutha, means our own herd. But then in our own herd also there are people who have different opinions. Called Democrats, all right, but so what? Conservative is there, and then what is it? The liberal is there, and liberal also, and this is there. All kinds of extreme right, extreme, all kinds of stuff is there. So this woman who got elected in Senate in the United States, because of which the Democratic Party got a clean majority of 51 senators versus 49, so clean majority. And in 72, this woman declared she resigned from Democratic Party. But I don't accept Democratic Party's principles, whatever it is now. So these fellows are back to 50-50. Anyway, this is just an example. What I am saying is Swayutha. She belonged to Democratic Party. but declared a different opinion. I don't accept this aspect of this party. So, Democrat all right, but not everything about Democratic Party. So, Vedanta is all right, but not about every aspect of Vedanta we don't accept. That's called Svayutya. Where they differ from us in some aspects. So there are these people who believe that knowledge can take place, abidance in knowledge can take only when you revolve that knowledge in your mind, called prasankhyanam. Then after the knowledge, aham brahmasmi, some practice is required. Some karma, subtle karma is required, that you must keep on revolving this vritti in your mind. Then only it becomes aparoksha jnanam. Otherwise, Shabda creates only paroksha jnanam. But then when you revolve this vritti, aham brahmasmi, then that process makes the jnanam aparoksha jnanam. Meaning that the vakya does not create aparoksha jnanam, but it is that prasankhyanam, that repeating that vakya is what creates aparoksha jnanam. So aparoksha jnanam they accept, non-duality they accept, but how the knowledge takes place, there they differ. Meaning that even after being exposed to Tattvamasi, you still need to do something, meditate. So it's meditation that will create aparoksha jnanam and not Shabda. So Shravanam does not generate aparoksha jnanam, that mananam, nididhyasanam, they generate aparoksha jnanam. So yutyamatam. Uthapayati, that is now raised that matam. Sadevayati. So now, in fact, there are in 10 verses, this is going on. From verse 9 to 18, in 10 verses, this the view of this prasankhya fellow will be in different ways, in very subtle ways also, his mata is going to be presented and then will be dismissed. So then the 9th verse says, Sadeva tvamasi ityukte natmano muktata sthira pravartate prasanchaksham ato yuktyanuchintaye. Now this is their opinion. Why do they prescribe this prasankhyanam? Or the need to repeat this, revolve it in your mind for now, because they believe Sadeva tvamasi, tvam sadevasi, you are only Sat, you are Brahmaniti yukte. When I am told, when a person is told that, Atmana muktata nasthira, it does not create an abiding knowledge of Atma. The mukti that you gain by the knowledge I am Brahman does not become settled until this next process also takes place. By Shravanam, even if knowledge takes place, the settled knowledge does not. So one is knowledge, aparoksha jnanam doesn't take place. Only paroksha jnanam takes place. To make it aparoksha, you need this prasankhyanam. So this is the opinion, Atmana muktata nasthira. Just by being told you are Brahman, that knowledge, that abiding knowledge doesn't take place. Meaning that vakya does not have the power to create an abiding knowledge. Because that's our experience. Shabda creates always paroksha, indirect knowledge, never immediate knowledge. Therefore Shruti Vakya also creates only paroksha jnanam. And you have to make it aparoksha. Pravartate prasanchaksham. What is prasanchaksham? Prasankhyanam. So chaksha or kya dhatu, so kya dhatu is replaced. So either prasankhyanam or prasanchaksham. Pravartate shabda vrittim. The Shabda or Vakya Vrittim Aham Brahmasmi, Avritti means repeating, revolving. Yuktya Sabhyased, Anuchintayed. Now there is a Vidhi here. Although you don't find that Vidhi, now that also we discussed. But they say that a Vidhi is implied. Tattvamasi implies a Vidhi. You are Brahman, there is no, grammatically there is that's the verb is a verb of being, not a verb of doing. You are Brahman. Says no, you must, not only you must do something to recognize that I am Brahman. So even in the statement you are Brahman, they see a Vidhi. What's a Vidhi? You repeat this to make this an immediate knowledge. So pravartate prasanchaksham ato yuktya anuchintayet, and that is Vidhi. Yuktyas abhyased ityartha. So not only, it's not just repeating of Brahma, yuktyasah. Yuktya means mananam. That means that dhyanam must be accompanied mananam. So mananam nididhyasanam is what makes this knowledge immediate, not only shravana. Therefore, aparoksha jnanam is generated by dhyanam, accompanied with reasoning, where necessary. So this is prasankhyanam, is what? So yuktya shabdavrittim. Shabdavritti. So avritti, repeating that shabda or the vakya aham brahmasmi along with yukti, because still the clarity is not there, some doubts may be there, or vagueness may be there, which must be all removed. So after listening to aham brahmasmi, you must make it a reality for you. So keep on seeing this, and wherever doubts come, remove them by reasoning. Wherever other things are there, then so that along with meditation on that vakya, along with the reasoning, is what will make it the aparoksha jnana. Simply vakya will not make it. So this is their opinion, and that's why they say that even though they don't tell you to do what is implied, here a vidhi is implied. How? Uktameva sadhayati. So that atmano muktata nasthira. That muktata of the atma does not become sthira or settled. What does it mean? So, next verse is Sakraduktam na grunate vakyarthajñopi yo bhave apekshate ta eva anyata avochamadvayam hitata. Yo vakyarthajñopi bhavet saha sakraduktam na grunati. Even a person who understands the meaning of the vakya. What's the meaning, Saraswatiji? You understand grammatically, etc. And still, na grunati, its true purport is not grasped by you. That you understand the grammatical meaning, but then the immediate meaning doesn't take place. So even the one who is well versed with understanding the statements by grammar and mimamsa and tarka, etc., by listening to the statement, the vision does not take place. The immediate knowledge doesn't take place. That is why they say that you should do something to make that knowledge aparoksha or immediate. Ata apekshate ataheva is for this reason that anyadvayam hi tat apekshate. That is why other two that we said is what? Yuktyasa dhyanam abhyasa. Yuktyasa abhyasa. So abhyasa, repeating the statement along with yukti, these two things we said, apekshate, is required for this vakya to become your own vakya. So you understand the meaning grammatically, But to see the purport of that mean, the sentence, you must do this so that it becomes immediate to you. So, yopi vakyarthagnya sakrutuktam na grunati. So, yopi. Now, this applies to anybody or everybody. Vakyarthagnya. Even the one who understands the meaning of vakya does not see it just by being told once. Na janati, na samyak pratipadyate. This vakya is not able to create the samyak matihi, the previous one. Samyak mati prakaranam. The true knowledge is not created by this vakya. So that prakarana took for granted that this vakya creates samyak mati. This prakarana questions whether samyak mati takes place or not. Atayeva anyas sahakari bhūtam apekshate, therefore sahakari. So along with this tattvamasi, aham brahmasmi, the accompanying also reasons are required. Yadapekshate tadvayam. So sahakari. For khichdi you not only require dal and chawal, but you also require other things. You require fire for one thing, but also require the spices and stuff like that. Or you have to boil it and do these other processes. So, just because you have all the ingredients doesn't mean that the thing gets ready. You have to do something with that. So ingredients are given to you, you have to cook that. Aham brahmasmi. So cooking, which is why repeating that and thinking, reflecting upon that. So that's how it will become cooked in your mind. Sahakari bhutam apekshate. Anyat, another one, which is accompanying reason, causes, yadapekshate tadvayam. That is the two things we said earlier. Vakyanuchintanam, yuktyalochanam cha. Vakyanuchintanam, anuchintanam vakya, aham brahmasmi, yuktya alochanam. Also, seeing how it is, it makes sense. Aham Brahma, don't just keep on repeating. When you repeat, then you say, yes, that is right. So let the mind see the validity of that statement. It's not just repeating Rama, Rama, Rama. So then Shivoham is not to be repeated that way. You have to see that meaning. So Soham is not a mantra to be repeated. It is a mantra for which you have to also see the meaning along with yukti. Then the conclusion is that Jivoham. I say Soham. So it is not that this repetition of Soham will remove Jivoham. But when you say Soham, then see the meaning Soham. How I am Saha and not Jiva. Again mind forgets, again do that, again, because the Jivoham, the samskaras are so strong that Soham will not settle down. And therefore, not only say you say Soham, but then also see the reason why I am Soham. That's the I am. Therefore, yuktya anuchintanam, vakya anuchintanam, yuktya alochanam cha. So not only repeating the vakya, but every time seeing the meaning of that vakya by the yukti. So this is what we think is required. Shravanam alone is not enough, but this additional process also is required for aparoksha jnanam. So they accept aparoksha jnanam, these fellows. But now the difference is in process how aparoksha jnanam takes place, not merely by shravanam, but then shravanam accompanied with mananam nididhyasanam. So here we'll have to take a break now in this text and for us to continue subsequently. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।